Some people. Yesterday we told you about attempts of a local First Nation to reclaim the original name for Mount Douglas. But if Mount Doug can be renamed to its traditional First Nations name, what's next? Could Victoria see a name change? Jonathan Bartlett takes a look.
On the summit of Mount Douglas, you can see quite a bit. The Straits of Juan de Fuca, Mount Ptolemy, downtown Victoria, all European names that could one day go the way of the Queen Charlotte Islands.
If you look at the Haida people, and Haida Gwaii is probably the best example that I can think of something that was the name of all those islands, the name of that whole place. It wasn't just one small village site or a particular, landmark, and it was hugely contentious at the time that there was the move to have it renamed, but it's now totally taken for granted.
The Tsawat First Nation is planning a day of action to reclaim the original name of Mount Douglas as Pakals.
We always felt that was a sacred place for us, and turning it into a park and naming it something else really took it away from our people.
Pakals can be translated as White Rock or White Head and reflects the indigenous oral history of the area. Mount Douglas is named after Sir James Douglas, whose meeting with Saanich chiefs led to the signing of the Douglas Treaty, a treaty local First Nations say is a broken promise. But how far could the renaming go? Is Vancouver Island next? How about Victoria? Victoria Councillor Ben Izett philosophically supports a name change, but is letting First Nations groups take the lead.
But as a historian, I do question the long-term viability of naming this community after an English woman who never set foot on this island. And I think there are perhaps more appropriate names, but that would be a discussion I think to have in the future. For now, we're focusing on Pakals, and I'm focusing on supporting the Tsawat and the other nations in that campaign.
I would say it's up to those individual nations and communities to have those conversations and to enact it on a case-by-case basis.
Most people we spoke to today don't seem too opposed to a Mount Doug name change.
If that's the original name, then that's probably what it should be officially called.
Well, it's been Mount Doug ever since I've known it for years and years and years, and I think it should stay the same.
I can see the sensitivities. People might regard Douglas as sort of a relic of colonialism, but he is part of the problem.